The leadership challenge that I'd like to present today involves a high-performing staff sergeant while I was in command, working as the Force Support Squadron and the Mortuary Affairs Officer. She was my NCO in charge of mortuary technical operations, and we worked very closely together doing mortuary cases. The challenge was her performance was such a high level. She was rated Firewall 5 on her performance reports for 4 consecutive years until she faced a PT test failure. Given good order and discipline and the fitness test standards across the squadron, my challenge was evaluating her performance and including the failure of the fitness test. What we didn't know is her struggle with fitness was tied to a thyroid condition that was difficult to diagnose from the medical community and required her to go to off-base physicians in order to diagnose the thyroid condition. We learned of the thyroid conditions 3 PT failures into her tenure. She went on to fail a 4th PT test, which then resulted in an administrative discharge, which then resulted in a different dynamic of a leadership challenge. So now I'm balancing the execution of administrative discharge for a superstar performing airman, and now preparing this airman who was not prepared for separation from the Air Force as the breadwinner for her family, to now looking at transitioning to a new employment and new revenue stream for her family. The good news to this story was that she had extreme high technical skills in the mortuary business. She had built relationships with the funeral homes that we had worked with in the local community and was able to land employment relatively quickly. In the meantime, we worked as a unit to support her by providing her information into the Transition Assistance Program, use of military tuition assistance to help with any schooling she would potentially attend for certifications and things of that nature, the Air Force Cool Program, which was a certification for her technical skills that would translate into civilian employment, and ultimately working through and with our resilience network, our mental health capabilities to help with the stress of all of this sudden transition would cause for her. There are a multitude of challenges that we face as leaders, but the most important thing that we need to keep in mind, and I tried to keep in mind, was ensuring that the unit as a whole were balanced and understood that the leadership team had their support and provided the professional guidance that they needed in order to excel, whether or not they were positively working toward mission success, or if there was some mistake or error made, that they were then given an opportunity to grow beyond that. And if separation was an outcome, how did we rally around our teammates in order to help them transition as smoothly as possible in a difficult situation? So within the time span between the first PT failure and the 4th PT failure in administrative discharge, there was countless strategic engagements from our leadership team to the unit at large in order to ensure that there was no sense of favoritism because the staff sergeant worked so closely with the commander on mortuary affairs cases that she would somehow get some benefit of the doubt in terms of the PT failures, and also that they understood that if they did have a challenge, the leadership team would be supporting them in that way. So to conclude with this leadership challenge, the opposing views was making sure that I supported my member, and also that I provided the appropriate discipline while supporting the member and meeting the standards. Because our Air Force standards are the Air Force standards, and they're inclusive for all, and we as leaders need to make sure we uphold those standards, but that doesn't negate us from being able to take care of our airmen. Thank you.